Hello, Facebook. Jamie and Marcus here, and we are on our way back from the Finger Lakes, from our trip in the Finger Lakes. We're here today to talk about olive oil.
Olive oil, yep. Some commonly asked questions about olive oil. If you were on our live a couple minutes ago, we got cut off because we got lost. We didn't get cut off, we had to turn it off because we got lost and had to
we made the wrong turn.
reroute ourselves. So yeah, wrong turn. So we are back. Jamie's here next to me. She's got a couple questions. A lot of people ask us all the time about olive oil and about salmon, a lot of foods, chocolate and salt, just because they know that I study a lot on these foods and that these foods are not created equal, especially when it comes to olive oil. They are far, far from equal in the olive oil world. So if you have any questions, you can drop some questions on here as well, and Jamie will read them from her phone. But we've got a couple questions that the most commonly asked questions that were just recently asked to us. We do have an olive oil sale this week, which is also perfect timing for this kind of content. So we have an organic olive oil sale from our Chilean producer, Olive. That's, I think, $7 off a bottle, something like that.
Yes, it's $32 normally, and it's $25.
Yep, so that's all week long. That's our grocery sale item. So, all right, Jamie, olive oil.
So the first question is, can you cook with olive oil?
First question, can you cook with olive oil? So you cannot cook with good olive oil. You should only be buying good olive oil meaning extra virgin olive oil. All the other ones like pomace and pure are very inferior olive oils that you really don't want to even consume them. They use hexane gas to extract them. They're really not food grade consumption, but they add extra virgin in to blend a little bit to bring up the balance in it and make it consumption. In fact, lampante oil, which is known for in Italy, is lamp oil. But if you took lampante and then added some extra virgin into it, basically this is what like pomace or pure is. So only buy extra virgin olive oil and only use it as a seasoning. So you finish all your food with it. You do not cook with it. You do not put olive oil on heat, on direct heat. So after you cook a pasta dish or a salad or a vegetable. All right, so
you're back.
I'm back. So do not cook with olive oil. Only buy extra virgin olive oil. Finish foods with it, like vegetables, salads. You can even finish a steak with good olive oil. Finishing a high quality steak, drizzled olive oil at the end, goes a long way. All right, next question, Jamie.
How should you store olive oil?
How should you store olive oil? Great question. So storing olive oil should be in a dark, airtight, cool area. This is why you want to keep it in the refrigerator. It's probably the best single area to keep olive oil because it's dark in there all the time. It's a constant temperature. And make sure you don't take your tin can and like jab it with a knife where it creates an opening at one end to pour it. That's always going to let oxygen into it, air into it, and that's not any good. So you want to seal it tight, no air, cool temperature, and dark area.
Excellent. What is considered fresh olive oil?
People always ask me, I found this olive oil in TJ Maxx. I found this olive oil here or there. Is it any good? Chances are at one time it could have been good, but olive oil, because it has a shelf life on it and because it's a very fresh product, basically it's fresh olive juice. It's the juice of the olive that's being squeezed out. It has a 2-year shelf life, and that's it. In fact, you don't really want to go past a year or so because there's always the next vintage of olive oil available. So if you truly want fresh olive oil, if you're buying it from Italy or Spain, you have a certain brand that you're buying, you want to buy the new vintage every single fall as it's bottled. If you're really strict on fresh olive oil, then you want to buy Northern Hemisphere in the fall, Southern Hemisphere in the spring, because the Southern Hemisphere will be bottled. They're 6 months apart, right? So the seasons, they're on opposites. So you can buy Chilean olive oil, Australian olive oil. I don't know if New Zealand must have, but Australian has olive oil. So there's certain regions in the Southern Hemisphere that will have olive oil that you can rotate back and forth. but the fresher the best. So if you're buying olive oil and it says expires April 1st, 2021, it's been in the bottle for 2 full years. I would pass on that. I don't care what kind of sale it is, this or that. You don't know how it was stored, the temperature, if it's at TJ Maxx or one of those other stores or a closeout store. Who knows the quality and how it was stored and this and that. So totally avoid it.
Is there anything else people should know about olive oil, Marcus?
Yeah, olive oil is an amazing food. If it was invented today, it might be one of the top 10 most therapeutic things you put into your body. It is loaded with polyphenols. It is a fruit, and it has a lot of health benefits to it. Which is why if you're buying the very good olive oil, which you only should buy the very good olive oil, you want to treat it as such and respect it, and don't overheat it, don't denature it, don't oxidize it, don't kill it off with heat, don't keep it in the light, especially next to the stove where you're cooking, because that is not a good thing, just to have it sitting up there. A lot of people will keep their olive oil out next to them on their countertop. Not good as well. So there's so much to say about olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. A lot of the stuff is fraudulent that's in the stores. A lot of the stuff is not pure 100%. When you buy a 3-liter tin for $30, it costs much more to make it true olive oil. So what these packers are doing, some of these people like Bertolli and...
So you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. Some of these big producers like Bertolli and the biggest producers out there don't even own an olive tree. They're just buying olive oil from all these different countries in the Mediterranean. Everywhere from Tunisia to Greece to Turkey, and they don't really know sometimes what they're getting. It can be mixed with hazelnut oil, with sunflower oil. It can be a mixture of extra virgin olive oil. It can have chlorophyll in it. It can have flavor enhancers, additives to make it act like olive oil, and maybe not be 100%. If you go to Consumer Reports, they've always done some great things where they go into the store and grab bottles of olive oil and test them, and 50%, 60% of the time they come back fraudulent. And even the best known so-called producers, Colavita comes back as imitation, or as not as the whole oil's not imitation, but it's not pure 100% extra virgin olive oil. It's been cut with other things. So even the biggest and best brands are subject to this because they don't have control over it. So when you buy olive oil, the best way to buy it is buy it from an estate, just like wine, where they're growing their own olives and having the 100% control of all the production, as opposed to buying anything that they're not. Because these Bertolli, they don't grow olives, they just buy olive oil or olives and do it themselves. So that's how to avoid the fraudulent, is by buying from a producer who's actually growing their own olives, and that realistically costs more, but it's a pure product, and the integrity is behind it, and their family name's typically on the bottle. So that's the story with that. The Olive that's on sale this week actually is estate grown. All the olives come from that property, and they're picked there, and they are pressed there and then bottled there. So it's a really awesome olive oil from Chile.
So Joel is asking, are olives a fruit?
Olives are a fruit. Olives are indeed a fruit, loaded with polyphenols, very healthy.
And Karen said it's so sad that so many recipes tell you to use olive oil for cooking. Yes,
lots and lots of recipes. You go and turn on the Food Network, and every chef out there is telling you to put extra virgin olive oil into a pan and cook away with it. They're not really following the science of it. That is a major no-no if you are interested in eating healthier. If you don't care about eating healthier and destroying the quality of your oil, then go ahead and cook with it. If you don't have any cares about that. But if most people do have a care about that, so do not cook with olive oil.
And Anthony said, after I watched an older video of yours, I began to get my extra virgin olive oil from California. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, California has some great producers, and not much fraud in California at all. So that's the good news.
Awesome. And that's it. Do you want to tell everybody about our $9.99 special this week?
Oh yeah, our new $9.99 special. First
today.
First time we're doing this particular special. We're doing a peel and eat garlic lemon shrimp. It's going to be almost 3/4 pound of shrimp for $9.99. It is a fantastic deal. Best deal probably ever done on shrimp for $9.99. Peel and eat garlic lemon shrimp, and $9.99. The grocery sale this week is the tomatoes, the olive oil from Chile, and the tomatoes from Campania. These little canned cherry tomatoes from Campania that are delicious. You open up the can, you just bring them to one simmer, and you can put them with pasta, you can put them with burrata, you can do it with a bunch of different things. Really, really, really awesome stuff. So those are on sale, so stock up on those.
And that's it.
All right. Jamie and I will be back in a little bit. We are just coming back from the Finger Lakes. We did a great tour up there with some guests at some awesome, awesome wineries like Domaine Le Sieur, Weiss, Herman J. Weimer. Really some amazing vineyards we just visited, so we're super excited to share those vineyards with our guests. We're looking on doing another trip. We're not sure exactly when. We're working with the hotel right now to see, because the Finger Lakes gets very busy, especially Watkins Glen. Finger Lakes get very busy, and we love this hotel, the Harborview. There's so many more wineries that are up there that we want to take people to, like Dr. Frank, like Ravines. There's some really great wineries up there that we have still not been able to get to. 300 wineries. We have about 25 wineries that we just absolutely love what they're doing, and we can only do 5 wineries on a weekend, 6 when we do a winery in the hotel for opening reception. So, and of course we always include a distillery, and this time we included Bureaucracy, which is a pub style. They have their beer like Guinness. It's all in firkins, natural carbonation, really, really cool stuff. And they have a lot of beers. They make their own beers, Seneca Lake Brewing, and they also support a lot of breweries on Seneca Lake. So we stopped in there, saw the owner, Bradley, and enjoyed a beer or a cocktail before we headed back to the room. So there are just so many more wineries up there that we want to get to and showcase and show off, because really the Finger Lakes is really an amazing place. Voted #1 wine trail by TripAdvisor. It's amazing. When we were in the lobby, you just walk into the lobby of the hotel, and there's like vans and buses and drivers picking people up, like on a Friday, today on Monday. They were coming in, they were pulling in. People go up there to tour like crazy. Our driver, these Dutch drivers, especially the one yesterday, was really impressed with the way we've laid things out for our guests, because a lot of times they just show up to drive, right, Jamie? And
he said a lot of times he shows up and it's just groups that just want to go out and drink and get drunk.
Right. They don't
And
care
they're
about
not
the quality of
caring.
wine. They don't care about anything like that. There's nobody. They don't have anybody in their group to set and plan up a thought out day of food, of tastings, of quality. They just show up and they just like don't care where they go. So our driver's like, it's really nice. Today, the one company pulled up and I started talking to the driver, and it's a company that actually specializes. They're all the tour guides. The driver's the tour guide, and the driver is a trained wine professional. So they get much more in depth, and she goes, this is what we do. You know, we don't specialize in bachelorette parties. We don't specialize in things like that. We specialize in people that want to find good wineries and drink good wine. I said, well, that's exactly what we do. So we hit it off, and we were talking in the lobby for a few minutes until her guests came down to get in her van. So there are a lot of bad wineries. Still, there's bad wineries everywhere, though. Even in California, even in Italy, there's wineries that are bad. So just because you're traveling somewhere doesn't mean you're going to find great wine. And sometimes a lot of them are tourist traps to get you in there and sell you wine that's a little bit, or it's not as good as their neighbors or down the road winery that's tucked in the corner. The best wineries that we've been in California are wineries that we were in on their front porch, in their garage, in their barrel room, no formal tasting room. These were some of the best wineries we've been at in Napa, and the same thing even in Italy. I remember in Terrassi, the gentleman didn't speak any English and didn't even have a tasting. He had to open up a plastic table for us,
Yes.
one of those tables for us to actually taste on. But his wines were simply mind-blowing, amazing. So, yeah, but you never find places like